ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Irrational Confidence Podcast. We're talking college basketball, and it is March Madness season going on right now. It is that crazy time during conference tournament time. We're leading all the way up to Selection Sunday, and we have a fun little game for today to be played. But I'm joined by my co-host, the man who's always dancing with his blue suede shoes in that court, but you will never trip someone like a certain Duke player. My co-host, Fresh, how you doing, buddy?
No, I did not pull a Filipowski. Haps, I'm doing fantastic. You mentioned March Madness. People always think like, oh, when Selection Sunday comes, it really kicks off there. No, it starts with conference tournaments. And as of record, we're in the middle of the mid-major conference tournaments. We haven't got the major leagues going yet. But 7 1 seeds have already been upset and are not playing and not taking their conferences at large bid. Automatic qualifying bid. So that puts all those 1 seeds right there in that mix for a potential at large bid, take a seed away or a bid away from someone else. So that adds to the chaos. And that's where it comes down to what we're talking about here on this episode, resumes. Who is actually the best team taking conference and logo out of it? Who really deserves to be in the dance?
Hey, and just so you guys know that this episode is being brought to you guys by Champ Sports Pools. Get ready for the ultimate March Madness experience with Champ Sports Pools. Are you feeling the March Madness fever? Dive into the heart of the action with our thrilling bracket challenge starting right at the Sweet 16. This is your chance to showcase your college basketball expertise. Make your picks and battle it out for basketball supremacy, all for free. Here's how it works. Enter for free. There's no cost. There's no catch. Sign up and submit your bracket at the Sweet 16 stage of the March Madness tournament. It's your shot at glory and a piece of the basketball frenzy without spending a dime. Win big. Stay ahead of the game. Predict the outcome. And you could be walking away with a whopping $1,000 prize. That's right. Predict the champion and the path they take to victory, and the cash could be yours. Double the fun. Want to increase your chances? It's easy. Host your own bracket pool on Champ Sports Pools and snag an additional entry fee. Gather your friends, families, co-workers, and enjoy the madness together. It's a win-win situation. More fun for everyone and a second shot at that grand prize for you. Details can be found at champsportspools.com/spinnable. That's champsportspools.com/spinnable. Guys, we want to thank Champ Sports Pool for sponsoring this podcast all during March Madness season. And we're going to have a little bit fun today talking about blind resumes. We're going to put Fresh on the hot seat here, and we're going to see what Fresh would do if he was a member of the selection committee. Now, just so you know, Fresh has not seen any of my notes so far. We have not compared notes whatsoever. So Fresh has no clue who these teams are. And I might see if he can he can figure out who they are. We have 10 different teams that are on the bubble. We will not use any team twice, but I have kind of paired these two teams together and given him a little bit of information, and we'll see what his thoughts are on them.
I'm looking forward to it. Bring it on.
All right, Fresh. Our first matchup here. Let's see, which one do I want to go with first? Because I have them all linked in together here. Let's just roll with this one. Team A. Team A, we're going to make it this team right here. Team A is currently sitting at time of record. They're 21-10. Their strength of schedule is 83rd in the country. Team A is 2-6 in quad 1 games and 5-2 in quad 2. And they are 2-2 versus top 25 teams. Our team B here in this situation is 22-9 at this time of record. They have a strength of schedule of 95th. They're 2-3 in quad 1 games and 4-3 in quad 2 games, and they are 4-0 against teams in the top 25 this season. Fresh, which team is making the tournament if you have to pick one, and which team is out?
So in the top 25, is that as they currently stand now or at the time they played the game?
At the time they played the game.
I'm going to go with Team B in this scenario. That
Okay.
4-0 was ranked teams at the moment of game, and that's kind of a little a kicker right there when those big matchups come into play.
Doesn't scare you that they have the strength of schedule they have 95th strength of schedule in this.
They sometimes you can't be punished by your conference. There may be a lot of bad teams in the league to kind of make up the bulk of that schedule. If they're going out of their league to play some ranked teams, it kind of helped them, and they were successful in those matchups.
All right, I'm also going to tell you this. This team has the worst strength of schedule out of all 10 teams that we have. That 95th is actually the lowest there. Fresh, you just picked the Memphis Tigers to make the dance over. Do you got a guess who the team you just put them over as?
I'm going to say that team I put them in over is probably from the Big Ten. Nebraska?
Nope, it is not a team out of the Big Ten. It's actually a team out of the ACC. You put them over the Pitt Panthers.
I have no problem with that.
You have no problem with that? I was interested with, you take a look at the reasons why I matched these two teams up together is 85, 95, or 83, 95 strength of schedule. And then you take a look at, they both have, one has 6, one has 7, quad 1 and quad 2 wins. That's why I kind of matched them up together. So Memphis Tigers are making the tournament as one of Fresh's teams here. All right, let's hit the wheel here.
We'll pause here. I'll throw a little question back at you. If it came down to the committee, would the committee go ACC over American?
Probably just for viewership and eyeballs. That Memphis team is really good. They're 11-7 since January 1.
And they were ranked this season and throughout the season at some points, and Pitt has not been ranked at all.
Right. But this Pitt team has got some nice wins on their resume. All right, let's go a little bit crazy here. Let's see here. Which one do I want to go with next? All right, we're going to go to this one here. All right, we'll use Team A this time. Team A is currently 18-13 on the year. Their strength of schedule is 41st in the country. They are 4-8 in quad 1 games. They are 4-3 in quad 2 games. And they are 1-3 against teams when those teams are ranked in the top 25. All right. Their other team, Team B, is 19-12 right now. Strength of schedule is 35th. Quad 1, they are 3-9 in quad 1 games and 6-2 though in quad 2 games, but they are 1-5 against teams when those teams are ranked in the top 25. Fresh, which team you taking?
Oof. These are pretty dang even.
Yep.
Both very enticing. Have the exact same record basically against top 25 opponents at the time of game. So that kind of deciding factor for that to play. Team A, though, I liked what they did in that quad 1, quad 2. Pretty solid record. And a lot of games in those two brackets as well. 4-8, I think, in the quad 1 for that Team A, I believe is what you said. That's 12 matchups right there off the start. And they've been battle tested. So I'm going to have to lean Team A in this scenario.
Team A. The thing that was interesting with Team A, they're coming out of the Pac-12, where everyone says that the Pac-12 is a little bit on the weaker side this year. And you just put the Utah Utes into the big dance, man. That is, Team A was the Utah Utes. And you picked them over. Do you want to take a guess who you picked them over?
Texas Tech?
No. You picked them over St. John's.
Well, keep Rick Pitino out.
Right.
Rick can go yell at his players all he wants. Keep him out of the tournament.
Well, I matched these two teams up because you take a look is that St. John's was 9-11 in quad 1 and quad 2 games when you put them together. And you take a look at Utah, they were 8-11 in quad 1, quad 2 games. Strength of schedule is within 6 of each other there, and they both only have one win against top 25 teams at the time of that game being played. So I thought that was an interesting matchup.
Back to my other scenario, when I talked about the previous one with the conferences and who has some muscle when it comes down to the committee, with the Pac-12 technically no longer existing at the end of this academic year,
Right.
Does that come into play when someone's like, well, you know what? We're going to reward the Big East. Your conference is basically gone. You're piecing out. There's no one fighting for you in that room. Would St. John's would that be the deciding factor, do you think?
Right. I think that it would be because the Big East is well known for being a basketball conference and there being some great basketball coming out of there. And St. John's does have that history of being a great basketball school. So I honestly do think the committee actually probably would go St. John's in this situation over Utah if you're comparing these two as well.
Yeah, I mean, Rick Pitino, you also get yourself a known coach who get you some potential good media bites for everyone to sort of salivate on.
All right, Fresh. We got 2 down. We got 3 more left to go. Oh man, let's see which one I want to go with next. All right, let's go with a couple of both of these are Power 5 schools. So this one, this is the only one with both schools in the Power 5. All right, Team A is going to be Team A is 18-13 on the season and has a strength of schedule of 21st in the nation, has the hardest strength of schedule in this entire situation here. They are 4-7 in quad 1 games and 4-6 in quad 2 games, and they are 4-7 against teams in the top 25 when the game was played. Team B, Fresh, is 18-12 on the year. They have the 23rd ranked strength of schedule. They are 3-8 in quad 1 games, 5-3 in quad 2 games, and they are 2-4 against the top 25 at the time of the game. Which team you putting in?
One of these teams is the Wisconsin Badgers.
It is not.
Wow.
This is fun, isn't it? This is wild.
I mean, this is almost identical. The strength of schedule is very good.
What are you valuing? Talk me through what you're thinking here.
I look at overall quad 1's, success. Quad 1, quad 2, how many games they've actually played in total. So I think that the first team was 21 games, I believe you said, 4-7 and 4-6 in the quad 1, quad 2.
That's a lot of quad 1 and quad 2 games.
And that right there just sort of says you've had to earn it the entire time, and to get 18 wins down that entire stretch, you're going to play quality opponents every single night. You're going to be beat up. It's a grind of a season. Both these teams have had to really push through it. Actually, I got a feeling both these teams are probably going to make the tournament anyway.
This is a tough one.
Give me Team A in this scenario. I'll put them in right off the bat.
I guess who Team A is?
Are they from the SEC?
No. From the Big 12.
Texas Tech.
This is K-State.
Ooh, and they had a nice little win over Iowa State in the final season finale.
Right. They had a nice little win there. Both these teams were matched together because, like you said, they had the most amount of quad 1 and quad 2 games together. You take a look, you go, K-State's played 21 of those games, and Team B was the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa Hawkeyes were the Team B there.
We don't need Fran McCaffrey in the tournament, so we can just go ahead and move on from that.
Right. So there's your third set there, Fresh. So far, you put the Memphis Tigers, the Utah Utes, and the K-State Wildcats in the dance right now, halfway through. Do you like your choices, or is there one that you would switch out if you could? You can't. So, you say, Memphis has got to stay in because they went over Pitt, but you'd rather put.
If I had to choose, I'm still very confident in my K-State over Iowa pick. I like that. I might flip back and put St. John's in because the Pac-12 has been pretty weak. I think Colorado, Washington State, and Arizona are probably the only 3 that are truly worthy in that league. Utah is that. I mean, they would need some magic to happen, and especially right now, as we've said, with mid-major conference tournaments going on and 7-1 seeds already being knocked out and not winning. Some of those actually might be up for at-large bids that might bump Utah in the very end. So I would go back and take St. John's over Utah if I had to take that one again.
All right, Fresh. We're halfway through here.
Well, everybody, you guys know that Champ Sports Pools is our sponsor for March Madness for us. And there's just a great connection we made with them, and we are looking forward to keep building that. And why you should choose Champ Sports Pools. Free entry. Absolutely no entry fee at all. Just the excitement. Massive prize. A generous $1,000 to the winner. Community and competition. Hosting your own pool brings people together and intensifies the competition. Simplicity. Easy to enter, fun to play, and all online. We've made it hassle-free to participate and track your progress. Don't miss out. This March, make every game count. Whether you're a seasoned bracketologist or this is your first dance, Champs Sports Pools welcomes you to the center of March Madness excitement. Remember, the more the merrier, so invite your friends to join in on the action. Are you ready to take the challenge? Head over to champsportspools.com/Spinable now and let the games begin.
And it's awesome to have a sponsor here, and it's really cool to see that people are just so ready to go for March Madness. Like, everyone is talking about it. It's been the things that's been driving the conversation this weekend. You know, we hung out this weekend here, Fresh, watching some games at a local sports bar. It's just so interesting because it is the most exciting time of year, and it's going to be an exciting time for one of these because the next two situations I have for you, some of these teams are projected to be in. They're not their last four in, but they're projected to get in there. All right, Fresh, I am going to go to this next one here. I'm saving the other one for last because I think the other one's a little more intriguing. So I'm going to give you this one here because the other one is really ridiculously close. Team A, Fresh, is 19-12 on the season. They have a 72nd strength of schedule at the time. They're 2-5 in quad 1 games, 6-6 in quad 2 though. And they're 1-3 versus the top 25 when they played them. Team B here is, and this is where this one's going to get funky like a monkey here. They're 20-11. They have a strength of schedule of 32. But they are 5-7 in quad 1 games and 4-3 in quad 2 games. And they are 3-6 versus the top 25 at game time record.
So if I'm counting correctly, each have played 19 quad 1, quad 2 compared to total games, correct?
Yep.
I got to go Team B in this scenario. That more quad 1 wins than that, or quad win ones and more quad win games in that combination does mean they've even played a much of a stronger group. Team B in this scenario all the way.
Team B. So you ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
The Seton Hall Pirates into the tournament. Seton Hall is now into the tournament.
All about that.
All
Lock
right.
them in.
Give
me the Pirates.
The Team B, though, comes out of the ACC as well. Guy, guess who they might be?
Virginia Cavaliers?
No, Virginia's in.
I don't know. I mean, they're in my record, but that play on the court is pretty brutal to watch.
This is the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. It's interesting.
I mean, the ACC was down this year. I think that's pretty obvious. There's only 2 ranked teams in the league right now with Carolina and Duke. Miami and Clemson both flirted with it. I think that might hold them back as that league, top to bottom, hasn't been absolutely overwhelming.
Yeah, I think this has been fun because you take a look at, and you look at all of these bracketologists, you look at everything, you read stuff online. Teams are on the bubble, and then when you just sit down and go, I'm going to cover everything up and just say, pick which team do you think is a better team? And you say, statistics say that this is the better team than this one. So sometimes interesting to see when you take the names away from it.
Well, I think we've all sort of gotten college basketball season doesn't really start till about now for most general fans because you have in the fall, November, December, you have NFL playoffs, college football, stuff like that going on. People's attention is taken away. And then you get to late February, March, they focus on the tournament and all this stuff. But the same way beside football now with having a committee in a room with human beings talking to each other, and that personal side to it comes in where I like this or I like that. The numbers tell a different story. In some cases, they prove the committee true. In other cases, they create chaos because the numbers say one thing and people visually see a game being played on the other, or they think a conference takes priority. And that's where controversy comes into play. And that's why we have, social media and all that fun stuff and talk shows, because people need to argue about who's actually right.
Yeah. All right, Fresh. These two are ridiculously close. Most of the projected brackets that I looked at, and I looked at multiple, and I looked at some different areas, either one of these two teams made it in, or both of them made it in. Not a single bracket I could find that was projected right now had both teams out of the field. Okay, so I think this is the closest.
They're legit bubble teams.
Yes, these are the two closest teams out of the 10 that I picked. Team A is 22-9. Their strength of schedule is 85th in the country. They are 2-5 in quad 1 and 7-4 in quad 2 games. And they're 1-3 against teams in the top 25 when they played each other at that time. Team B is also 22-9. They are the 86th ranked schedule. They are 2-6 in quad 1 games, 4-1 in quad 2, and 3-3 versus the top 25 when they're played. So Team A has 18 quad 1 and 2 games. Team B only has 13. One team's 1-3 versus top 25. One team is 3-3 versus top 25. This is a fun one. I love this one right here. As those of you who listen and can't watch us right now, you guys need to go to YouTube to watch Freshly debate right now with himself between Team A and Team B here.
Is Team B from the Big Ten?
No. I'll give you a hint. Both of these schools are west of the Mississippi. That's what makes it really interesting.
Give me Team B in this scenario. That's 3-3 versus top 25 at time of play. That's going to carry some weight for me.
All right, you got any idea who this could be? Team B be?
I'm going to TCU Horned Frogs.
Nope, they are the New Mexico Lobos.
Lobos. Hey, you know what? The Mountain West, they could legit have 6 teams in the tournament, so I'm cool with that.
Right. And you put them in over another team out of the Pac-12.
USC?
Mm-mm. The Colorado Buffaloes. Like I said, it depends on which mock you're looking at, which bracket. A lot of brackets have both of these teams in. Some of them have New Mexico in over Colorado. But every single thing I looked at when they said either the last 4 in, first 4 out, these two teams were together in those.
Well, you kind of look at the Mountain West. So, folks, if you haven't paid attention, the Mountain West, Colorado State's had a great year. Utah State's been ranked for a long time. Boise State's had a heck of a year. New Mexico's been solid. At least those 4 are in, I believe. There should at least be 2 others that pop in there that are on the fringe as well. But that league has been pretty solid. The Pac-12 has really struggled. Obviously, with the Pac-12 dissolving, will they have enough people in the room to fight for Colorado? Deion Sanders can't get the basketball team in there.
Right.
So I'm pretty confident New Mexico gets in. They were in last year. They've had a strong, group out of success in multiple years. So I think the Lobos punch another ticket for the Mountain West and make the tournament.
Right.
I'm confident in my lock.
And this is really, really interesting to see who gets in, who doesn't. Just off of CBS right now, first four in Dayton, Ohio. They have 2 16 games, and then they have 2 11-seed games. New Mexico versus Seton Hall in that one, and St. John's versus Colorado in the other one. There's a couple of other teams that are kind of hanging out there that could be on the bubble, but I thought that was kind of fun to do with them. According to CBS, Pitt, Iowa, and Utah were the next four. Were part of the first four out. So this was
one
fun
funny
to do.
scenario. Obviously, in our last episode, you were very high on the Sycamores of Indiana State. They lost in the conference tournament. They've been high up in there. I think they've been ranked for a good part of the year. They've been in and out of the bottom of the top 25. They have a pretty solid record, but that quad 1, quad 2, will that loss actually hurt them, or they actually take one of these bubble spots from somebody else? You can't get caught up in the love affair of, Mr. Rex Specs there, and wanting him in that story in the tournament. They've got to actually earn it the record wise, but they might come into play and bump somebody off the bubble and steal a bit here, before all said and done.
Yeah. And they lost to a quality team in Drake.
Yeah. Not Drake from Canada, to Drake Bulldogs.
Yes.
Out of Iowa.
So listen, I think this is, it's a fair comparison to make with Indiana State and what's going to happen with them. It's going to be fun to watch here coming up this week. So, guys, we gave you a blind resume test, and we just wanted to see what Fresh would choose if presented with two different teams, given the statistics on those two teams of who he would pick between them, who would make the tournament, who would he leave out, because these are the conversations that are happening in rooms right now all over the country, or actually probably in one centralized location if they're smart.
The bunker somewhere, yeah.
Maybe. But it's really cool to see the idea behind this and how these selections go once you get all the automatic qualifiers in, and then who winds up on there. So it's a fun time for March Madness. I can't wait for the tournament to get here. We're just under a week away from getting Selection Sunday, and then all of next week we're going to be rolling through the actual tournament, getting ready for it. A special thanks to our sponsor again, champsportspools.com. Make sure you're checking them out. Again, champsportspools.com/spinnable. Appreciate them for sponsoring the show. Special thanks to our producer, Drew. Without him, none of this is possible. Make sure you guys are visiting spinnablesports.com. Yes, that is spinnablesports.com. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a like. Hit that notification bell. Get notified every single time we drop a new episode. Leave us a comment. Who would you have put into the tournament here? Would you have agreed with Fresh's picks? Do you disagree with them right there? Drop us a comment in the bottom there. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media. Leave us that 5-star review, because you guys know Fresh and I, we're those 2 5-star prospects. That's all I got, Fresh. It's tournament time. A blind resume test. It's all happening right now. And we got brackets coming out in the very, very near future.
Madness is every day. I love it. Keep the games coming. Buzzer beaters. Every point matters. Everybody, if you have your own blind resumes you guys want to take our shot at, put it in the comments on Spinnable Sports YouTube. Send it to us on X/Twitter. Any way you want to reach out to us, let us know. We want to take those considerations and interact with you guys at all times. One more thanks to Chape Sports Pools. Guys, hit them up, chapesportspools.com/spinnable. Join the challenge. Get involved. It's free. And with that, everybody, we'll talk to you next time. Bye, y'all.